Alright, so today what I'm going to be doing is showing a basic example of how I edit my photos. And to do this, I'm going to use an old photo I took of one of my friends. His name is Jacob Cast. And I took this while we were hanging out at the skate park together one day. And as you can see, the original image here is quite a bit underexposed. So what I'm going to do to correct that is first, I'm going to choose, and just so you know, I am using Gimp photo editor here. So don't confuse this with Photoshop or Lightroom or any other photo editor such as that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose, in GIMP, I'm going to choose my path selector here. And I'm going to use it to just outline my subject. And in this case, his umbrella. And I'm just going to keep placing dots until everything is outlined. And try not to get the background in. It's okay if you do it little, it's not going to make too much of a difference. But try to get as little of the background in your selection as possible. And then we're going to go to select, and we're going to click from path. And that's going to select everything that I just highlighted with my path editor, with my path selector. Then I'm going to click colors, and I'm going to go to brightness contrast. And first I'm going to up my brightness to about 20. And I'm going to let that take effect. You can just watch it. Now, as you might notice, as it's brightening it up, while it's brightening it up, it also really brings down the contrast of the image and kind of makes everything look a little gray. So what we're going to do to fix that is the contrast here. We're going to bring it up to match how high I put the brightness. So if your brightness is at 20, put your contrast at 20. And take a look at how that affects the image. And you might have to put your brightness a little higher, or you might have to put your contrast a little higher than your brightness. It all depends on how it affects your image. In this case, I think I might want to bring up both even a little more to really make them pop out from the background, which, as you can see, is really, really dark and underexposed, just like my subject was, and still is a little. So I'm going to bring it up to around 50 on both brightness and contrast. And we're just going to see what that does. Alright, so you can see the difference there. But now, while that may have fixed my, for the most part, that may have fixed my underexposed problem, I don't think that my subject really sticks out from my background at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm once again going to select my path selector. But this time I'm going to select all of my background. Everything except for my subject. I'm going to do that by just going like this. Go down here. Alright, as you can see, I'm missing some, which is going to be a problem later that I would probably have to fix, but I've already edited this image and I'm just doing this to show how I do this. But if you ever try this, make sure that you try not to miss any, like I did in here, because that'll leave fringing, and that doesn't look very good. Alright, now that I've got my entire background selected for the most part, I'm going to go back into my brightness contrast, and I'm going to bring it down this time instead of up. The reason I'm going to do that it seems I forgot to change my path from a path to a selection, and because of that, it put the effects on my entire image instead of just the area I wanted to. So make sure that when you do this, First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through. Let me pause this recording for a moment. Alrighty, now back to my recording. Now, what I forgot to do last time is to click select and click from path, which is going to select everything that I highlighted with my path there. And now, when I go to colors and I go to brightness plus contrast and I drag it down, it's only going to apply those changes to what I have selected, which is my background. We're going to click OK. And now you can really see how much my subject sticks out there. But let's say I want to make it so that my background isn't visible at all. Just drag these down as far as they can go and click OK. And that really just completely erases my background. And then we're going to click select, none. And as you can see, you can't really tell that the background's there at all. It's just my subject. So because of that, he really just sticks out. And I could really just put anything back here that I wanted if I wanted to add something back here, which I'm not going to right now, but you could. So that's just a basic example of how I edit a photo, especially if it's underexposed, because you really just want your subject to pop out from your background and you don't want them to blend together. Which usually I try to do that by using a very wide aperture on my lens, but with the lens that I'm shooting with lately, which is my 18 to 55mm kit lens, it doesn't have a very wide aperture. I think it only goes up to about 4.8. So I can't really get that blurred out background from the low different fields, so I have to try and tone down my background in post-processing like I did here. This isn't really the way I usually would have done it. I probably would have done it in other ways, so this is just a basic way to do it that's a lot easier. Let me see if I can find another version of that photo. Not that one. My brother was messing with that. I don't think I have my other edited version of the photo on here. I do believe it's in my Google Photos account, but my internet's not currently working properly, so I'm not going to be able to show you that. But as you can see, this is just a really easy and simplistic way that you can edit your photos to make your subject stick out from your background. So I hope you learned something from this video today, and please like the video and click subscribe.